Hey, it's Jordan with Status Coup with some breaking news on the union momentum, specifically Amazon Labor Union, who, of course, won the first historic unionized Amazon at JFK 8, a massive warehouse in Staten Island, and now have their second union election across the street at LDJ 5, which is a smaller warehouse with 1,500 workers. Well, Sunday's going to be a big day. And in addition to Bernie Sanders and other progressives showing up to speak to and rally with workers a day before that second election, the breaking news is Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will be appearing as well. Let me show you the tweet from Christian Smalls, who's the president of Amazon Labor Union. New York City, I'm happy to announce that AOC will be coming to visit Amazon Labor this Sunday. For the Twitter fingers, solidarity is about accountability and second chances. The only narrative that should matter is bringing people together. Hashtag ALU for the win. Obviously, what he's referring to is, as far as second chances, is ALU and Christian Smalls criticized AOC and other progressives for not showing up for them during their union organizing. You know who did show up? Status Coup. We were there on the ground for over a year before they won. I think I was there 7 or 8 times, and I will be out there, and Status Coup will be out there on Sunday to cover. Bernie, AOC are going to be there. There's also going to be other leaders. Shama Sawant, Seattle City Council member, socialist, alternative member. She's going to be out there rallying with the Amazon workers. Sarah Nelson, head of the flight attendants union, will be out there, and other labor leaders will be out there. In addition, obviously, to the Amazon workers, we will be out there covering it live. So I don't know exactly the time yet. I know the rally is in the afternoon. Don't know when Bernie and AOC are going to be there. So join our text list, statuscoup.com/text. So you'll get a text message when we are live. That's statuscoup.com/text. Join us. We will be out there on Sunday covering it all on the ground. And let's go back to the start of where this basically friction between AOC and the Amazon Labor Union workers started. This is a press conference from August of 2021. It was the first press conference that they were holding, the Amazon Labor Union workers, and they advertised AOC as the main speaker. Obviously, if you're trying to unionize, if you're trying to reach the workers inside the warehouse, who a lot of those workers in this warehouse are younger, 18 to 26, aren't that into politics, but certainly know AOC. It's really important that AOC was going to be showing up. It draws more media cameras and journalists to the event when, if not for AOC, they certainly wouldn't be there because they didn't give a damn to cover Amazon Labor Union or union organizing in Staten Island, specifically in the dead of summer in August. Well, this is what happened at that press conference.
Unfortunately, I'm going to just start off right now with the deal breaker. There won't be no AOC today. There won't be no Mondaire Jones. Unfortunately, they canceled on us. Security thing, whatever, right? That's politics. I'm not even going to say what I think, but hey, they're not going to make or break this union drive anyway. That's right. Doesn't matter. The workers here and the workers inside that building, how you doing? You should come on over. Why you watching from afar? But anyway, the workers here today, the workers inside the building that's on the clock that, they're working, that's supporting. That's what's going to make or break this drive.
So the backstory is AOC and her people contacted them the day before, basically flaking, citing security concerns. Obviously, she does get a lot of death threats. So do other progressives in the squad. So I can't really comment on the validity of those security concerns. But what I can comment on is after she flaked the day before, thus deflating the press conference and deterring more media to show up, what happened was she basically went dark on the workers. Her people and her were not responding to the workers, who were basically asking for a minuscule ask of, can you tweet out, your support for our union campaign? Can you tweet out, hey, we're doing XY fundraising event? Can you tweet out even a couple weeks before the election, support, visit our website, support donations, et cetera, et cetera. silence. They did not get a response from AOC, and I criticized her, and other progressives criticized her, and it even got to the point where we got not into a fight, but got into it a bit on Twitter with me saying, "Okay, you had security concerns. Was there security concerns with sending out a tweet?" She didn't respond to that one. So she originally said, "Well, I didn't go because it was not in my district." Obviously, she has gone to plenty of other labor events that are not in her district, including visiting the Buffalo Starbucks workers before their historic victory, going to Columbia University to stand with striking student workers who are on strike, and a slew of other events not in her district. So whatever the case may be, that was then, this is now. People might be split on this. They might say, oh, she's bowing to political pressure because she was shamed by Amazon Labor Union. She was shamed by the workers. Speaking of that shaming, let me play another clip of one worker on the day that they won with sharp words for AOC.
I mean, you can't get in people's head, but why do you think you guys were basically fending for yourselves where progressive congresspeople in their backyard weren't even tweeting on your behalf?
I think it's just that our campaign and our model was such a long shot. They saw it as risky to even associate with us because at the end of the day, they are politicians as much as they, say that they're on the side of the workers. They have to prioritize getting reelected and, all that stuff. But as far as the AOC thing, it wasn't even so much the fact that she flaked out on us. It was more the fact that she went radio silent for 6 months after that and didn't show a word of support for us until it was clear that we were going to win. And it was that way with Jamal Bowman as well and a lot of these politicians. But I mean, I'm not really upset about it because at the end of the day, we are an apolitical union. We don't want to be reliant on political outsiders. I mean, it would have helped. It would have made things a little bit easier for us because they have such a large platform. They could have gotten us more donations or more visibility or helped the workers see that we are more credible. But at the end of the day,
speak up when workers are getting arrested for handing out chicken.
We have one of our organizers who was illegally terminated, Daquan Smith, was staying at a homeless shelter in AOC's district. And we tried to see if we could reach out to her to get some help with that, but we weren't able to. But at the end of the day, we won without them, and we can continue to achieve big victories without them. It would have been helpful to have that support early on. I mean, it's not really fair for them to stand at the finish line now and say that they support us because we needed the support in the beginning. We don't need it now.
So obviously the workers were not shy in criticizing her. To be fair, it wasn't just her. Jamal Bowman, who is a congressman in New York, didn't show up for them. Mondaire Jones, who's a congressman in New York, didn't show up for them. Bernie didn't show up for them during the union organizing campaign. But to me, progressives need to decide what are we going to do when the people that we're criticizing, because they're not showing up when it counts, what are we going to do when, whether they're being shamed into it or whether they've seen the light, they show up when it counts after the fact? Because it does count that AOC is showing up Sunday. To be clear, the election at this other warehouse starts Monday. It's 1,500 workers. Amazon has continued with massive union busting at this warehouse after the major victory across the street at JFK 8, threatening workers with possibly cutting hours, possible termination, ripping down pro-union posters all over the warehouse. So it matters that not only Bernie, but AOC specifically is showing up because a lot of these workers are younger. A lot of these workers don't have time to pay attention to politics. They're not as invested as you and I day to day, but they know who AOC is. And there is that kind of star aspect to it that she's showing up. Now, to me, it doesn't have to be either or. You could criticize her for not showing up originally, but give props for showing up now, whatever the reason. We can't basically complain when elected progressives don't do what they should be doing. But then when they finally start showing up for whatever reason, whether it's because they were shamed or not, we continue, too late, not good enough, this and that. The bottom line is we need to continue pressuring folks like AOC, folks like Jamal Bowman, the rest of the squad, because clearly in this case, it has worked. Clearly she's showing up despite Christian Smalls calling her out publicly, not only to Status Coup, but plenty of other places. So she's doing the right thing now. Should she have done it earlier? Yes. This doesn't mean let's send her a bouquet of flowers for doing the right thing now, but it does mean the point is to win, not to consistently be on Purity Island. The point is to win. And having AOC out there on Sunday with Bernie helps them greatly win this second election. And the point here is, if they go 2 for 2 in the first 2 victories, in the first 2 warehouses, that is a train of momentum that will be hard to stop. Now, this is New York. New York has one of the highest union percentages in America. Doesn't mean that every single election that comes after that will necessarily be victory. But we're seeing with Starbucks, you get those first couple of victories and the momentum is palpable. Now Starbucks warehouses are voting yes across the board. I think they have between 10 and 15 stores that have already voted yes. And the most recent elections were like 16, 17 to 0 in favor of yes. There were other ones where one or 2 people voted no. You could see the same thing happening here. And Christian Smalls and Amazon Labor Union has already been contacted by over 100 warehouses from across the country that they want to file for a union and asking ALU to help them organize. So if you could get this second victory, 2 for 2, that's a really hard train for Amazon to stop and for the media to toss out propaganda. If they lose this second election, then you start seeing the media stories. Well, maybe the first one was a fluke. It seems like not all workers want to unionize because the second one warehouse they lost. Then you have the Bessemer warehouse that lost the first time, even though Amazon broke the law and it was illegal. And the results for the second Bessemer election are not clear yet. So it is very important that they win this second election. And you want to know something? I'm a journalist, but I also first and foremost, my focus is on winning and getting power, right? So the squad, to me, I've criticized them quite a bit. I've criticized Bernie. They deserve to be criticized. But at this point, whether it's through shame, whether it's through political motivations, whatever her reason for showing up, she's showing up, and that's what matters. So to those who want to come at me, come at me. But the bottom line is we need to win. And this is an outside electoral politics matter. This is not about, electoral politics. This is about labor power. And if you go back in history, the last time that we had any semblance of economic equality was in the 1950s and 60s when you had strong labor unions. So let me tell you something. We are not so far off from living in a country. If there is an Amazon unionization tidal wave, well, who's the biggest employer above Amazon in America? Walmart. If Amazon succeeds, and if Amazon workers succeed in a union tidal wave, what makes you think we can't set our eyes on Walmart or any company for that matter? Fast food, hell, even banks. This is important. Don't let anger or disappointment at the squad, and you're right to be angry and disappointed. Don't let it take your eye off the ball of it. It's important she's showing up Sunday. And the other thing is, to be clear, and I've said this over and over again, there's a lot of YouTube channels and criticism of AOC, Bernie, this and that. That's fine. But in this case, shaming by the workers worked. She's coming. So why don't we magnify that and double that on other things? I've only covered one protest of AOC outside her Queens office over Medicare for All. That was Movement for a People's Party put that on. Other than that, I haven't seen mass protests outside AOC's office, other members of the squad for not fighting hard enough, for, strategically going along with leadership. Hey, people say, oh, Jordan, you're a simp for the squad. No, I'm not. I would gladly cover more protests outside her office, outside other squad members' offices. But I haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of criticisms online, but not going to their doorstep. There's a difference between going to their doorstep and say Nancy Pelosi, because I think they are more open to hearing activist complaints. But hey, if it worked in this case, the Amazon workers publicly shaming her, well, why can't, you get 20, 30, 50 people outside ALC's office saying, hey, this isn't enough. We need X, Y, and Z. That would also get media attention. I'm just saying, if they're not doing what you want them to do, let's not just keep it to YouTube. Protest. I'll gladly cover. So in this case, it's a good thing she's going. She does deserve credit, whether people like to hear that or not. And I will be out there, and Status Coup will be out there on Sunday to cover. Bernie, AOC are going to be there. There's also going to be other leaders, and support our on-the-ground reporting, which, again, we were out there for over a year to cover the organizing, to interview Christian Smalls and other workers over and over and over again. We were there 7 or 8 times. That reporting is not cheap. It takes money, cameraman, travel, et cetera, et cetera. StatusCoup.com/join. Support our on-the-ground journalism for $5 to $10 a month.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to Status Coup's daily live stream Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and Fridays at 4 o'clock Eastern Time.